Let's get to it. It finally happened. Shedeur Sanders started a football game for the Cleveland Browns. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When it took forever for Shedeur Sanders to hear his name called in the craziest 3-day stretch of a draft involving one single player that I can ever remember or that we'll ever see again, that also included him being pranked and all that crazy stuff. Never thought in a million years that in relation to Shedeur Sanders starting, we'd hear his father's name, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. And we'd hear the name of whichever quarterback he was taking the job from, or at least needed to take the job for that Sunday because of the quarterback not being available or benched. It's Dylan Gabriel not being available due to a concussion. Joe Flacco being sent away, just like Kenny Pickett. Never thought we'd hear the name of Eric Zier, that's for sure. But he was the last quarterback the Cleveland Browns started, and he wound up a winner in his first career game for Bill Belichick back in 1995. It was such a stunning set of circumstances. They closed the franchise in Cleveland. It moved. Wait a minute. I'm being told there were other reasons. Okay. But there's Shedeur out there, and of all places, Las Vegas, Nevada, where Kenny Pickett is standing on the sideline with an earbud. Yeah. Where a lot of people thought the Raiders, needing a backup for veteran Geno Smith, or at least a plan for down the road, would draft Shedeur. Of all places, for Shedeur Sanders to get the start. And he does. And, you know, early on, not making the mistakes. And the good news is they got another rookie in a very, very good draft for the Cleveland Browns named Quinshon Judkins. Good idea to give him the football, right? Don't you think?
Man, he's so tough.
And touchdown for him. And so now Shedeur can play with a lead. That's what you need. You need him to play with a lead. And he does. But at one point in this game, early on, Isaiah Bond, who again the Cleveland Browns took when few others would for different reasons, he goes deep. Shedeur Sanders rolls to his right and uncorks the throw on the run, jumping in the air. That was the Rick Dalton gif. There it is, right there. That's what he can do. That's what he can do, right there. From Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Right there. There it is. Right there. That's not what Dylan Gabriel could do, or Flacco could do, or Pickett could do, or anybody else on that roster at any point in this season could do. That's what he can do. Right there. Bond jumps for the ball. If he just not jumped for it, maybe that would have been Shedeur's first career touchdown pass, rather than the throwing it down the line of scrimmage to, I love this, Samson, since Dion always likes to use some analogies from
The Good Book.
The Good Book. Although this Samson spelled with a P. And he just takes it 66 yards for the distance. But in a similar play call, and again, I love the kid. I love Dylan Gabriel. He came on the show. He couldn't have been nicer. Dylan Gabriel had a similar throw, rolling to his left and throwing back to his right in one of his starts, and airmailed it. Shedeur threw a beautiful pass all the way across the field, and Samson did the rest for Shedeur's first career touchdown. And then, speaking of doing the rest, I said it on our Overreaction Monday podcast, so I'll repurpose it, if you will, here. Maybe it's the first time you're hearing this. But in Las Vegas, the horror movie analogy is in relation to the Vegas rookie running backs pre-snap stance, right? The Jason stance for Ashton Genty. Stand up tall. That's what he does. Unless Chip Kelly says don't, and then they're like, screw it, do whatever you want. Yada, yada, yada. Somebody's not there anymore.
Ain't got to worry about that.
So, but the calls coming from within the house, the horror movie analogy of anybody who watches a horror movie and you're wondering, why are you doing what you're doing? Because we all know that's the guy with the axe. You don't want to do that because the person's coming for you with the axe. The Grim Reaper was in Las Vegas, Nevada yesterday. Okay. Proving that F1 wasn't the only fastest individuals in that city. Miles friggin' Garrett.
Just look at the
I mean,
muscles
I know,
on
it,
that
just,
guy.
it
Like,
doesn't
look at
look
that
real. It
picture.
doesn't look real.
It
doesn't look real.
You look like a real person.
It doesn't look real. Oh, it's real. That was all. Shedeur not making the mistakes. He did make mistakes, but making the plays that were necessary, hitting Sampson in stride, or perfectly, so he was able to get in stride, and then hitting Bond, and then not making mistakes, letting Judkins do his thing. Enough for Myles Garrett. 3 sacks. Third game in the last 4 weeks with at least 3 sacks. Through 11 team games since sacks were recorded in 1982. By the way, what were they doing before 82?
Right.
When quarterbacks were getting taken down, right?
Hey, Deacon Jones has a lot of those.
But I think Deacon Jones came up with the term of sack because didn't he have a job in a grocery store because guys back in the day had to have second jobs or something like that? I don't know if that's a wives' tale or not, to use the phrase. That he would just bag up quarterbacks, sacking them. Myles Garrett, since the sack rate began to be a stat in 1982. He now has 18 through the first 11 team games. That beats Mark Gastineau's mark of 11 and a half in 1984. And Mike Del Tufo, before you were taking credit for the K Corner as a Mets fan,
yes,
that you never were.
I know.
That is what gave birth to the New York Sack Exchange. I had a poster of that. I had a poster of the New York Sack Exchange when I was a kid of Gastineau, Klecko, Abdul Salam, and Marty Lyons. You know, it's interesting. Jason Garrett leads the league in sacks with 18.
Myles Garrett.
What did I say? Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett leading the league in sacks.
Let me try and save this. By the way, that's where you play the slow Sports Center theme.
Yeah.
Whenever I make a mistake. That's right. You don't want to be that guy. Myles Garrett, pardon me. I'll applaud for him. His 18 sacks right now leads the league. You know, his second with 13 sacks is Myles Garrett in the last 4 weeks. Mm-hmm.
Strahan yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw this, he basically said goodbye to his sack.
I don't blame him because
it should have never been his in the first place. TJ Watt should be saying goodbye.
Yeah, nice. But Strahan in that sack record season had the record of most sacks over a 5-game span, 12 and a half. Garrett's now got 14 over his last 5. Yeah.
I mean, he's had a game with 5, 4, and he had 3 on Sunday.
So that's enough. That's enough to come up with a W against a team in Vegas that can't protect the quarterback and can't put it all together for 4 quarters, or is struggling to do so right now. And Shedeur is, in fact, the first Browns quarterback to win in his first career start since the franchise reconstituted in Cleveland in 1999. And we know there's been a lot of them. There's been a lot of them, too, that hope was poured into that obviously didn't pan out. But this is what Shedeur said after the game to the CBS broadcast.
Man, it's crazy. It's amazing, you know, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This 1 week of practice. So imagine, you know, what a full offseason look like. It get dangerous. But it's just a 1 week of practice, so I'm just truly thankful, you know, that everything happened.
So I'm glad he threw the humble part in at the end.
Well, right off,
you know, when the Sanders was showing through, because otherwise that would just light up half of, you know, the TV shows that precede us every single day. Wait a minute, I'm told it did anyway. My bad. He had this to say after the game as well. Which one are we playing first, Mr. Hoskins? Oh, it's just his general thoughts at the podium.
Everybody starts different places, and like I say, just because I didn't get the summer reps, you know, just because I wasn't in the best situation for me to be prepared to go out there and execute, like from a summer standpoint. That's how life is. You know, everybody's not in everybody's not in the best situation, you know, but it's no excuse. You got to go out there and perform. Like, there's no choice, there's no question. Nobody cares if this was 1 week of prep. Who cares? You know, so a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't going to happen. You know, it ain't going to happen.
At least full Game of Thrones. Not today. Not today. Of course, he made some rookie mistakes. He made the ups and downs. Of course, we saw it. It wasn't a perfect game, but he did what he needed to do with the support of his teammates to come up with a win for Cleveland, and was humble in the process, asked if he had a chip on his shoulder.
No, I was a fifth-round pick. I got skipped by everybody at least 5 times. so it's not. It just come with the game. You know, it is what it is. But I'm just thankful for where I am now. You know, I don't. Everybody have their differences. But I still got an opportunity to play. So why can I be mad? You know, money different, but thankfully I have a good family. You know, so it is what it is. We're not playing for that. We're playing for the love of the game. So I'm just thankful to be out here, have an opportunity, be able to go and play. Go out there and play. Go out there and start. Like, you don't know how surreal, you know, that feeling is, knowing that you have the responsibility of the Browns organization on your shoulders, you know. Having all the fans, you know. Everybody in here arguing with each other online and everything. Everybody have their differences about me. It is what it is.
I don't know how you don't like that kid, man. I really.
I'm with you, Teach.
I mean, they act like Dion. They say, well, they hold against his dad like Dion was some type of pariah. Dion was one of the most popular NFL players of all time, right?
Yep.
He had and he backed it up on the field. He backed it up on a diamond. He backed it up in commercials and selling shoes. So I don't understand this thing where, like, they're holding it against his dad.
He also told a story about how I grew up in he told a story at the podium about he grew up in a 30,000 square foot house, but his dad always took them to, you know, more disadvantaged parts of the town to let them understand the way that people live. And again, the whole reason why he went so long as he did is everybody thought, well, Dion is just going to helicopter dad this whole situation, and all he did was just get a spot up in a suite with Constance, who is the best. And also, did you see the smoke?
Oh, I saw Matt and
I saw Matt and
I did see Jackson up there too. He was sitting on it.
Anyway, so and did he hold a press conference afterwards, Dion? No. Hugged it out with his son, and then went off to finish his season in Colorado with at least something good happening in the Sanders family on the football field there. And I'll tell you this: speaking of Browns fans, what he's done is he's given a little bit of hope, just a little bit of hope. Yeah. So Kevin Stefanski, after the game, asked about what about next.
You feel like he's earned the opportunity to start next week?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, Chris. Obviously, you know, proud of him and proud of this offense, and there are a ton of things to learn from, but I'm just going to, you know, worry about today.
Come on! Come on, Kevin! Come on! 49ers are coming in your house next week. Come on! You want to see what 5th-round pick can do against Mr. Irrelevant? Short week with the Niners coming all the way east. Earlier, we talked about Shedeur Sanders' first start and Kevin Stefanski not naming him as the starter right after the game. And, you know, for effect, I screamed, "Come on," out. Did I make you jump a little bit when I screamed, "Come on"? But a little bit, that was serious, part of it tongue-in-cheek for a bit. I don't know if Kevin heard me. But just moments ago, this happened.
Shedeur will start this week. Obviously, you know, number one job of a quarterback is to win. So excited to get that first win under his belt. And then next thing is improvement. And that's what young players do. Certainly young quarterbacks do. You get one game better, and that's just from working at it. So that'll be our focus.
Okay. Ooh. And he's got a good one to focus on it, man. I do love this guy. I know Browns fans are disappointed, upset. Another lost season, blah, blah, blah. But Stefanski's not a bad guy to have in the meeting room, in your ear, improving. working on it. And to me, this is the only decision I think he could have made. And it's not because Dylan Gabriel's still in the concussion protocol. They announced he's out of it. This is a decision the coach has made. Or is it ownership? I'll be honest with you. Whatever it is, I want to see it. Otherwise, would I have been sitting down watching Browns 49ers next week? No. Am I watching 49ers and the Browns next week more closely?
Yep.
I will be. Absolutely, I will be. I know you have your doubts, Chris. You have your reason to have your doubts. I know anybody else out there was taking a look at, Shedeur minus a couple throws yesterday, but he made the throws. He made them, and he didn't make more mistakes than he made throws. There are more plays that you could say, that's right there, Rick Dalton GIF, then, right there is exactly why they didn't start him before. Yeah, right there. There it is. Throw to Isaiah Bond. There it is. Hitting a wide open guy in Jerry Jeudy, who decides to jump up in the air for whatever reason, hop, skipping, and jumping and body surfing. And again, he's so wide open. You know how many times J.J. McCarthy missed some wide open guys a couple weeks ago? You see guys miss wide open guys all the time. He didn't do it in that respect. And then, of course, let Samson do his thing. I'm so psyched. I'm so psyched. And I'm psyched for Browns fans, too, man. I'm psyched for them.
Sure. I think for me, it's organizational. Like,
sure.
They have no choice. Like, Stefanski is, like I said earlier, he's coaching for his job. So you're going to do whatever you think gives you the best chance to win this week. And this week, it's starting Shedeur. So they have no choice. They got to do it.
By the way, if he's coaching for his job and the Browns decide to let him go, do you know how fast he'd get another job somewhere? Laugh all you want, man. I think the Giants would be brilliant to just hop on him and just say, you come over here to New York. You tell Jackson Dart what to do. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.